Good afternoon, and thanks for the conference chairman and the organization committee for giving me this chance to present my study. Restorative housing, a model for future home in Erbil city. Contents: introduction, problem statement, research question, research goal, understanding the methodical sustainable design approaches, understanding the Middle Eastern sustainable design models, beyond the low impact design, proposing a local model for the city of Erbil, proposing a sequential design framework for a healthy sustainable housing or healthy sustainable housing projects in the city of Erbil, and finally conclusion. Introduction. With the increasing emergence of epidemics, the demands of our future homes have changed. Concern about nature integrity have been joined by concerns about human survival. Sustainability provides a wide range of opportunities to address critical issues related to the building sector at the economic, environmental, social, and cultural levels. In developing cities, such as the case of Erbil, where the concept of sustainability is still in its infancy, imported Western ideas do not always fit with the different peculiarities of cities, as they must adapt to local reality of each city, which may create a problem in the absence of knowledge in this field. Having access to the regional practices may help in implementation of appropriate technologies and design that take into account regional context and physical capabilities, and thus shorten the path toward the sustainability. Problem statement. The Industrial Revolution brought innovative technology in industry and the application of a new energy source, and later that led to the changing the natural system of the earth and affected the building industry. The science and technology were used at the expense of the cultural heritage, neglecting the human needs, whether the psychological or physical needs. And that led later to the emergence of destructive architecture. Unification of architecture vocabulary treats building like a machine. As a result, there was a major disconnection between the built environment and natural environment that resulted in the environmental issue and made the building industry a large contributor in changing the natural system of the earth. On the other hand, the globalization that resulted from modernization theory that called for integration among countries in terms of economic relations, beside the cultural connection among people, as well as divided the societies or global societies into two categories: developed and developing society or countries. The flexibility of technology is one of the most essential things in this respect, which unites people in such manner that the globe resembles the little village. So the concept of globalization with the one of sustainability viewpoint, which is the technocratic anthropocentric, led to the emergence of sustainable development and later become the prevailing paradigm in sustainable architecture, which is the efficiency paradigm. There is a problem for applying the Western knowledge and practices in developing city with the lack of knowledge and practices. Engaging the regional experiences with the Western discourses and practices has the potential to bridge the gap between the global and the local, as well as can take the efficiency paradigm or the Middle Eastern practices beyond the efficiency paradigm. As I said before, the efficiency paradigm or model is the prevailing one in the Middle Eastern practices in sustainable architecture. So here we have the Western experiences and there is a local experiences. We try to put intermediate step between the Western or the global experience and the local experiences. The mediating role played by the regional knowledge is attributed to the fact that this collective knowledge is sourced from the practices of the region cities that are proactive in this field and share commonalities with the neighboring cities where the sustainability concept is still in its infancy, while they drawing parallel with the Western experiences. To this end, how may it be regional experience in the field of sustainable architecture can bridge the gap between the Western and local experiences in sustainable architecture, and to develop a design model for sustainable housing more responsive to the local situation of developing cities, considering the new function of the home. By utilizing both Middle Eastern and Western knowledge in sustainable architecture, a design model for healthy, sustainable housing projects in the city of Erbil is intended to be developed in this study. The methodical design approaches that will be explained later will be connected with the Arab models of sustainable housing. The local model that is produced will be later included in sequential design framework that can be used by the architects and scholars to create housing that is both healthy and sustainable. What the meaning of the methodical design approaches? Methodical or the sustainable architecture design includes two design paths. One primary engineering and technology based, another one is the ecology or based on ecology and living system principles. So now I will explain the methodical design approaches that resulted from different thinking paradigm and different we can say sustainable design path and different problem solving methods. So first we have the technological path, and then another one we have the ecological path. The first one, technological path, based on the mechanistic thinking paradigm that try to solve the environmental issue through doing less harm to the nature according to the literature review. And there is two approaches, either by using the technology, another one by design with the climate. Design with the technology represented by sustainable and green design approaches, and by climate design include analytical and symptomatic approach according to Kosher. So, and also we have the ecological path that based on the ecological thinking paradigm that view humanity within a large, more complex, less deterministic, more interdependent, multidimensional world within a little resembles to machine, and that lead to or try to solve the environmental issue by improving the relations or the relation between the human and the nature through make integration between the built environment and the natural environment. And there is two types of integration: passive integration and active integration. Passive integration means use the nature for the human interest, while the active integration means do something or do positive impacts on the nature. And there are different approaches: sustainable and green design, bioclimatic design, biophilic design, biomimicry design, restorative, regenerative. Each of these approaches has a specific focus issue. Regarding the bioclimatic and biophilic design, both of them focus on well-being and the human health. According to studies, combining the low energy approach, which is the bioclimatic design, with biophilic design, which is the ecological design, can result in extremely optimal human comfort and low levels of energy consumption by employing the high quality, cost efficient measures while connecting the users with the nature that lead to positive response in terms of human performance and health, even emotional state. So we get wellness model represented by or resulted from combining the bioclimatic design with the biophilic design. What about the Middle Eastern models? There are three models, two main models with the hybrid. In Middle East, the main models for sustainable architecture design have been found based, in Middle East, two main models for sustainable architecture design have been found based on efficiency concept to overcome the environmental issues. The first one is revivalist and the second one is the progressive. The first one, low energy design model, revolves around environmentally responsive cooling strategies, technologies, and elements adopted from traditional architecture. However, it restricts the practices to limited building type, scale, and class, and this is the disadvantage of this model. Another one, progressive design model, based on using latest technologies in resources efficiency that are imported from the West, regardless of natural condition and cultural context practices. The hybrid one, combining the revivalist and progressive models, and may help to overcome the problems associated with the two main models, as well as result in more ecological aware built environment and maintains a high level of self-consciousness. So we can say that the Middle Eastern knowledge in sustainable architecture can be described as repository of the latest Western technology in resources efficiency, which have been applied according to the local context of leading city in this field, as well as the low technology or low-tech solution inspired by the local practices of the cities, and which have amassed as a result of the city's unique local circumstances. Beyond the low impact design, so we will try to take the Middle Eastern efficiency model beyond or the Middle Eastern design models beyond the efficiency or low impact paradigm. Low impact design project that adopted by the Middle Eastern countries play an important role in reducing the burden on nature. Moreover, the rational science provide an understanding of environment and the assessment of those measures which are necessary to rectify the environmental damage. However, the environmental challenges are not only about the engineering, but also about human nature interaction that lead to achieve long-term sustainability. Moreover, the prevailing progressive method that use the latest technology brings decentralization, which means that the particular local conditions and competing form of local knowledge tend to be ignored, giving people a positive experience of natural and built environment can help them to meet their emotional and physical needs, while also giving them a pleasant and healthy place to quarantine and healing, as well as a place to work. Furthermore, it may be encourage people to be more responsible with their building, and the notion of sustainable stems from long-lasting structure rather than developing new, low-impact, efficient design according to colored. Biophilic design is incorporation of nature into built environment, whether directly, indirectly, and symbolically, to benefit the health and the well-being of its occupants, in addition to the environmental benefit that result from this passive engagement. Restorative environmental design can be achieved by implementing organic, low-impact design that balances culture, history, and environment, thus merging the progressive model of the Middle Eastern countries with the revivalist model with the biophilic design model can lead to the restorative design, and we can propose this framework for healthy, sustainable design model in Middle East by merging the hybrid model that's combined the revivalist and progressive model with the biophilic design pattern that classified into three methods: nature in space, natural analogies, nature of space. The three models, or we can say the hybrid models with the wellness, the hybrid models with the biophilic design pattern can lead to the blended model which is the healthy, sustainable design in Erbil city. How can we get the bioclimatic and biophilic design pattern in Erbil city? Actually, the vernacular architecture introduced a chance to get local patterns for the bioclimatic and biophilic design. So the variety of local ecology that result from various climate and geographic allow applying biophilic design pattern across all climates and aesthetic, but may have diverse resulting form, aesthetic and material unique to their respective regions. Furthermore, people's preferences for particular landscape may be influenced by their ethnicity, because different cultures and ethnic groups use space and landscape in different ways. Accordingly, the study of vernacular architecture and settlement provide valuable lessons for bioclimatic design, as well as a knowledge of local population responses to biophilia. What about the bioclimatic design patterns? As I said before, there are two approaches for bioclimatic design. There is analytical and symptomatic. Symptomatic is approach based on examining adequately climate adapted vernacular example as a source or as sources of inspiration, like the revivalist model of the Middle East region. The dominant bioclimatic measures are chosen and then implemented or can be implemented in modern structure. We can use the analytical approach later to verify the bioclimatic design measure that transferred from vernacular to different type of contemporary housing projects, or even to make sure the suitability of bioclimatic design or the traditional bioclimatic design in the multi-story building. Accordingly, a framework or sequential framework is proposed that can be traced by the architects to create healthy, sustainable housing projects in Erbil city, based on the Western and the regional experience in sustainable architecture. We have here the hybrid model of sustainable architecture, and include the advanced efficiency technology and also the climate responsive design pattern inspired by the vernacular architecture. By merging the two models with the biophilic design pattern, we can get the restorative design. It is environmental, we can say environmental sustainable architecture plus healthy, that provide well-being and the health for the user. We can go to the certified sustainable housing projects to understand or to take the proper efficiency technologies for the housing projects. And also we can go to the vernacular architecture of the Erbil city in order to recognize the dominant passive design features, biophilic and bioclimatic design. Later we can use the analytical technique. Analytical technique, that means we will use the bioclimatic chart to verify the applicability of the old or the traditional feature in contemporary building, or even in the multi-story building. And finally we will get a healthy, sustainable design represented by group of strategies and techniques that has been extracted from the vernacular architecture, as well as taken or learned from the successful sustainable housing project. Conclusion: the study introduced a design model for sustainable housing projects that can be used by architects to create housing projects in Erbil city, which is facing challenge in creating sustainable home due to fact of local design model help to move due to lack of local design model helps to move forward in sustainability experience. Combining local experience with the innovative solution and resources efficiency provided by Western practices may aid in localization of architectural products and the preservation of local culture, beside the creation of low impacts and comfortable built environment. the presence of organic biophilic design components in the housing projects take the Middle Eastern practices beyond the efficiency paradigm and introduce benefit for both occupants and the surrounding natural environment. Thank you for your listening. Thank you.